And we are live, and one of the most bizarre games ever. Welcome to Forever Sports, people. Welcome to the Player Ratings Show. And before we get going, I need you guys to do a favor. I need you to go right now onto mypicks.app, and I need you to start rating the players. Go and give every single player a rating between 1 and 10. Go and vote for your man of the match. And I need nominations for man of the match in the chat over there. So we're going to have a bit of a breakdown of the game, and then we're going to get into our player ratings and sort of see exactly who we think was the best players and kind of what we thought of the game itself. I mean, what are the most ridiculous games we've probably ever watched? And it's going to be a very interesting an interesting player rating show, I think. So, yeah, head over to mypicks.app. Ideally, create an account so that you can come back and you can predict and you can get involved in all these types of things. But you can do the ratings without creating an account. But the main thing is you need to get across there and you need to do the ratings so that when we do our ratings, basically what we do is it sees an average rating and gives the fan average. So it gives you your rating, it gives the fan average rating, and then it basically generates an image of all the different ratings. So go over there, get that done, and make sure you contribute. So when we do our ratings, we've got a decent sample size on terms of those ratings. But let's get into the match first, shall we? Springboks 24, Ireland 13. The Boks get the job done. Not a pretty game of rugby. In fact, one of the weirdest games of rugby ever. And I think World Rugby will probably be under pressure to look at this game and re-look at, for example, the way that some of the aspects of the game are being officiated, being reffed. 6 cards, I think, in the end. 6 cards. Ireland down to 12 players at a stage. A 20-minute red card, a late yellow card for the Boks. It was just absolutely bizarre. I mean, if you go look at the match breakdown, you've got 4 tries to 1, a conversion apiece, 2 penalties for Ireland, 4 yellow cards for Ireland, a red card. I'll just actually refresh that. Sorry, there is actually a red card, a yellow card as well for the Boks. So let me just quickly refresh that because that'll update it. But just absolutely bizarre. And yeah, so there we go. There's so yellow card there for the Boks as well. So it was an interesting game, if nothing else. And yeah, I think a lot of people are going to be talking about it for a long, long time because the Irish. I mean, to be fair, there was maybe a contentious decision early on with regards to Sasha Zulu. But then the Irish cards were all deserved. But I mean, if we go through this match timeline, and you'll just see card on card on card. So if we go all the way down, hang on, sorry, I'm on the wrong screen here. Let me just quickly get to the right screen, and we'll have a look at the cards because we had a early try chalked off from Ireland. After South Africa at the perfect start, the absolute perfect start. Damian Willems ended up with a phenomenal try and open scoring in the 4th minute. Then in 20 minutes, James Ryan, well, actually, Ireland score, but it gets chalked off because they see a dangerous clean out by James Ryan. And I mean, it was the most ridiculous clean out you'll ever see. He just basically launched himself, shoulder charges into Malcolm Marx, no control, no extent, arms over here. The definition of a shoulder charge. There's no justification whatsoever. How the fact that it wasn't a permanent red card is pretty amazing. If it was, however, we actually might have had to stop the game because of the amount of cards that actually happened. Because if a game gets down to 12 men, you actually have to stop the game. So very, very weird. But that was the start. That was the start. So then 10 minutes later, Jack Crowley replaces Tommy O'Brien, who got away for me with a yellow card. I mean, he ran into Kane Moody. Kane Moody sat him down, and the ref said he was passive. Then he went for an HIA. I don't understand how you can be passive in a tackle to the extent where you need an HIA. So a bit strange. And then Sam Prendergast got binned 2 minutes after that. Kubas Reinach eventually then scored. Sasha out of the extras. Then went down to 13 men. Ireland actually scored a few minutes later. Dan Sheehan, a couple of missed tackles, pretty poor from the Boks, to be perfectly honest. Jack Crowley made no mistake. And then himself got a yellow card for repeated infringements. On the 40-minute mark, well, actually, it was way after the 44-minute mark, really. We had scrum after scrum after scrum, and eventually Andrew Porter got yellow carded. because of the continued infringements. And we actually got a penalty try when they were down to 12, which is usually a yellow card. But again, if it was a yellow card, we would have had to stop the game. So bizarre, absolutely bizarre. And you're thinking that at halftime, Springboks are in control, should be a cricket score, really. They should go on to put on lots of points. They didn't, to be perfectly honest. So penalty try over there. And then the second half, it all just became bizarre. Sasha Gomezulu scored a really good try. Spaced out wide, showed the dummy, handed off Gibson Park, went straight over, fantastic, lacquer. And then we thought, I mean, there was a period about the 58th minute to about the 65th minute where we basically just camped on the 5-meter line, try after try, penalty after penalty at scrum time. Paddy McCarthy got yellow carded because there were so many penalties. We still had more scrum penalties, no penalty try. We just couldn't score. So fair enough, credit to Ireland because it was a very impressive defensive effort. How there was no penalty try, I'm not entirely sure. But, the possession stats and territory stats were wild. The Boks basically spent, at one stage, 32% of the game, the most of any of the areas of the park, in the Ireland 22. That's how dominant they were. But could not score points. Which, in many ways, we'll look at that and think it's a bit of a failure, to be perfectly honest. So if we look at, on the attack, for example, we carried more, we ran more, had more clean breaks, more offloads, and more possession, lots more territory as well. Defensively, I thought Ireland were solid, were very solid. They could have conceded a lot more tries, to be honest. And I think it does speak to the fact that when the game got chaotic, when it became quite scrappy, we struggled. The Boks struggled. And it was frustrating to see how much we struggle when you think of some of the tries we scored. We've ran big scores into New Zealand, and all of a sudden we kind of just looked like we didn't know what to do. So it was a bit weird. It was a bit strange. Lineouts were pretty good from the Boks point of view. Stole a couple of the Irish ones. Scrums were phenomenal. Bowen Fenter, Thomas the Toy. Shout out actually Bowen Fenter. He goes on under a lot of pressure, and he did an absolute job on Tyg Furlong in that first half. Thomas the Toy as well, and then Karos Dennekamp, Wilco Low came on and just continued that. They absolutely decimated that Ireland scrum. In fact, I don't think I've ever seen such a decimation. Look at the penalties conceded. Ireland 18, Springboks 11, 4 yellow cards and a red card. Springboks 1 yellow card, and that's where I get my 6 cards in the match. Bizarre. Look at some of the top performers. James Lowe, the most carries, not particularly effective, to be perfectly honest. In the first half was quite effective. Find a bit of space down that left-hand channel. Not so much in the second half. Jasper Wiese carried well as always. Damon De Lende carried well. Obviously, the Irish players topping the tackle charts there. Meters run, James Lowe, Sasha Gomezulu at the top. Sasha was 7 points this evening, and nobody getting more than 1 try. But so it was a weird game, a very, very strange game. At the end of the day, the best way I can describe it in terms of it being comfortable is I don't think the Boks were ever going to lose the game. That was the thing. They were never going to lose. But we should have put in big scores. We should have found more tries. So it is frustrating, but I think at the end of the day as well, where I'm sitting at, it's a long season. It's the end of the season. At the end of the day, the goal was to win. So if somebody had given me a 24 points to 13 victory at the beginning of the day, you would have taken it and said, thank you very much, I'm out of here. The way the game kind of went on, we probably should have put lots more points on. And I think Rusty will even say that maybe that we left points out there. But at the end of the day, the goal was to go to Dublin to get a victory. It was very contentious because it was a bizarre game. 6 cards. You don't want to see 6 cards. And actually, to be honest, I don't think any of them were unjustified. So, all the Irish cards, I think, were pretty fair. They were just under so much pressure. But they just couldn't cope. And that's where the cards kept coming. So, the Boks were never going to lose that game. I think that's the main thing. And then all of a sudden, towards the end, Ireland had a late flurry and almost scored, but the Boks defense was pretty rigid. And again, he said, we're never going to lose that game. So the main thing for me is job done. Job done. Not maybe as impressive as we wanted to do, but job done. Now we go to Wales, and if we win that, then a 13 out of 15 season and potentially a 5 out of 5 November, which is a phenomenal run that the Boks have gone on. So you could be nitpicky. I'm not going to be. I think it's just one of those games. And the fact is it was a monkey off our back, which was the main thing, to be honest. What do you think, though? Let me know in the comments. Where are we at, though? Are we upset with that performance? Are we happy, for example? How are we feeling about the whole thing? I'm not massively upset. It was a horrible game to watch. It wasn't a good game of rugby. Like, let's call a spade a spade. So, but it wasn't. At the end of the day, the result's the main thing, and we got the result. I need nominations for man of the match. So we're gonna, because now we're gonna go do the ratings. I'm gonna give my rating, and you guys are gonna choose the man of the match. So I need nominations. Where are you guys at with nominations for man of the match? And I'm gonna put that down to the floor. And you guys can go and vote for the man of the match and see what you guys have to say. And I'll put that down as my man of the match. But we're going to go through the ratings, give a rating of 1 through 10. Then we're going to send you off to Alistair, who's currently doing the Australia versus France game, which is about to kick off. So we are going to go through the ratings relatively quickly so that we can kind of send you guys off to him and you guys can keep him company. And we're going to start with Bowen Fenter. Now, before we start with Bowen Fenter, as I said, I need nominations for man of the match. I've got a Malcolm Marx. I've got a someone saying Ty Byrne. We're doing a Bok man of the match, given the fact that we're doing the Bok ratings, unfortunately. So yeah, give me some. So I'm seeing 2 for Marx. So let's go Malcolm Marx, man of the match. Who was your man of the match? Malcolm Marx. I'm seeing Kanan Moody. I'm seeing Peter Steph the Toy. I backed that Peter Steph the Toy shot in fairness. Paul reckons Thomas the Toy. Anybody else going on with a man of the match? Inzwa reckons Kubas Ranak is man of the match. I'm seeing more than one Thomas the Toy, to be fair. Not Sash Facts could be ugly for Ireland. I'm seeing another Moody. I think we'll see Thomas the Toy. I don't mind the Thomas the Toy shot. I like that. I like that. Thomas the Toy. So we've got our man of the match options over there. Yeah, I agree, and I think that Tian's made a very good point. The props were phenomenal. All 4 of them were phenomenal. So let's start with Bowen Fenter. Now, Bowen Fenter missed a tackle. It was quite an important tackle before they scored a try. But this man took Tyke Furlong, one of the best tight heads, probably the best tight head of the last 10 years, and made mincemeat of him. Today, for me, was a coming of age of Bowen Fenter. So I'm going to give him an 8 because the scrums were phenomenal. 7 point. Maybe I'm being generous, but no, stuff it. He was under so much pressure, and he did an absolute job on Tyke Furlong. A huge job for Tyke Furlong. This was a massive game for Bowen Fenter. Also had a try disallowed. Would have loved to have seen him score that and get that sort of tick next to his name. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting thing. So I'm going to go with I'm going with an 8 for Bowen because I think that under all the pressure, scrummaging is his main thing, and he scrummed very, very well. Malcolm Marx was phenomenal. 8 out of 8 tackles, clean break, 3 carries. I'm going to give Malcolm a 9. I think he was fantastic. 8.4. No, I think he was very, very good. And there's a reason he got World Player. In fact, this kind of form recently might really up his World Player of the Year possibility, to be honest, given the fact that he's put in some big performances as it's really counted. He's huge against Italy, good against France, big against Ireland once again. So I'm going to give him a 9 there. You guys are at 8.4, slightly... Oh, Marx has been crowned World Player of the Year. I don't think that was supposed to be announced tonight. I'm a bit confused. This is bizarre. So that's what's been sent out. I thought that... that was supposed to be announced next week, wasn't it? I'm very, very confused. Sorry, they've just sent out a press release saying Malcolm Marx just won World Player of the Year. But where was the announcement going to be? Oh, it is now. So it is now. Actually, yeah. So there we go. So Malcolm Marx has been named World Player of the Year. Well, there we go. What an evening. What an evening for him. So there we go. They've kind of jumped the gun a little bit. So there we go. Malcolm Marx has been named World Player of the Year. We'll do a video for that afterwards. Let's go into Thomas the Toy. I'm going to give Thomas the Toy an 8. I thought he was fantastic. I thought he scrummed well. He got around the park. Very, very good shift from Thomas the Toy. Did exactly what we needed from him. And yeah, a bit of a coming of age this year, really, of Thomas the Toy. And Eamon, I thought Eamon actually had a very good first half and then kind of faded a bit in the second half. First half made some very important tackles, good in the line-out as well. So I'm going to give Eamon a 7. I thought it was pretty solid. Yeah, you guys are around there as well, so very happy with that. Ruan Nokia, probably one of the quieter games from Ruan Nokia. We didn't really get to see him in all his glory, but I think fairly solid. So I'm going to give him a 7.4. Yeah, it wasn't quite, it wasn't a bit of an all, but to be fair, it wasn't an all-time of a game. So, yeah, so I'm going to give Ruan Nokia a 7. Sia was carried well. I thought he skipped it well as well. I think solid game for him. I'm going to give him a 7. I think a lot of people, to be fair, are going to get 7s because it was a good game. We didn't get the points we wanted, for example, but at the end of the day, we still beat Ireland pretty convincingly. The scoreline might not have said it, but I thought Pierce Totoya was very, very good. Got around the park, big tackles, very consistent. I'm going to give him an 8. Fan rating's got 7.6, so you guys are pretty close there. Yes, Visa also played very well. Carried well, tackled well, got around a good shift. So I'll probably give him an 8 as well. One of the better players this evening, 7.7. You guys are pretty aligned so far with it at the moment. I'm just going to do a bit of a refresh, make sure we're getting all the other people's votes as they are voting on mypicks.app. And what else have we got? Right, so next we got Kubas. I don't actually think it was Kubas Rana's best game. He did score a try, a very good try, and a try assist, but I don't think he was phenomenal. So I'm going to give him a 7. Thought his kicking was a bit wayward, to be honest, and maybe a bit more consistency on kicking would have been a bit more of a fluid game. I think that's what really hurt us, is that I don't think we were a team that likes the broken play and the chaos. I think we like structure, and we didn't have that structure. So, yeah, and I don't think Sasha was particularly good today. I don't know how he got a man of the match nomination. I mean, he scored a fantastic try, but I don't think he was phenomenal. And, yeah, so I'll give him a 7. I think a solid 7. I don't think anyone's getting a 6 today, to be fair, but I don't think he was a man of the match nominee, for example. I think there were better players. But a fantastic try, a really, really good try. And long may he continue to just score tries for fun. So good on him. Good on him. A bit of a quiet game for Cheslin. Might be our first 6, actually. I don't think Cheslin did much at all, to be fair. So I'll give Cheslin a 6. Yeah, you guys are also going a bit low. Very, very quiet game. One of the more quiet games we've seen from Cheslin Colby. Meanwhile, by the way, Australia started like a house on fire over in Paris. You know that if they beat France by more than 15 points, they'll go ahead of them in the world rankings and France goes to band 2. Fun fact. Damien Delendi was industrious today. Very, very good, I thought. Always just so consistent is Damien. And so I'm going to give him an 8. I thought he was very, very good today. Yeah, you guys on far behind, in fairness. He just gets through so much work. And really, even when he gets it on the back foot or whatever, he always seems to find momentum. He always manages to seem to find a way to get some meters made. And yeah, I thought Jesse Creel also stood up today and made some very important tackles. Was pretty good on the attack, actually. Created a bit of space, ran onto the ball nicely. I'm probably gonna give him an 8. Actually, I thought he was good. I think that's harsh. I think he really rose to it. I think he snuffed out a lot of the tackles. That rush defense a couple of times we had to get up and make that tackle. And yeah, so I thought he was very good. Kaden Moody, also very, very good. Good under the high ball. Made his tackles. Need to get him on the ball probably a bit more. But I'm going to give him an 8, 7.8. Yeah, probably one of our highest ranking players so far. Then we had Damon Williams, also very good. Also didn't make many mistakes. Also scored a very nice try. So I'm going to give him an 8 as well. 7.8. There we go. And Genji said, yeah, both centers were good. Jan says, time for Hooker to get the #1 spot on the wing. Leon says, Sasha had a bad game apart from a try. How's G20 Summit? I wouldn't know. Don't care. It's somewhere down there. I'm not worrying about it. Jan Kobelar played, 5 minutes? Give him a 6. 7 minutes. Chaos Dinner Cup. Scrum. All props are getting 8s. All props are getting 8s because they absolutely decimated them. Volcoro's getting 8. All props are getting 8s. I don't care. I'm not arguing. I'm not having any conversations. All props are getting 8s. Arcus Neyman came on and made an impact. Solid on a 6. He got a couple of offloads and got through his work. Not an all-timer again from him. Andre Estes, a bit of a quiet game in comparison, but pretty solid as usual. Probably one of the more quiet games we've seen from him recently. This man continues to be the best impact player off the bench. Always adds so much when he does come on. I'll give him a 7. Very, very good. I mean, he's just so... he's a blockbuster, isn't he, as a player? Grant Williams gets a 6. Came on, got a yellow card, didn't do much. Monty Bok, probably also a 6, came on, struggled a little bit, didn't get really front foot ball, to be honest, not his best game, but we move. And now we're going to award our man of the match, which is, you guys have decided, is Malcolm Marx. We're going to go back to Malcolm Marx. We're going to make him our man of the match. And we're going to go to thing, and we are going to generate our image. So there we go. Those are the ratings. So we're going to a bit quickly. We want to try and get this, send you guys off to Alistair and, enjoy the evening of rugby. So this is what we've got. It might be a bit small for you guys to read, but basically, the average fans rating, I've got Bone Fenter, he got 7.2, I gave him an 8. Malcolm Marx got 8.4, I gave him a 9. Thomas Toy got 7.6, I gave him an 8. Eben Etzebeth, 6.9, 7.4 for Ruan Nokia. Our highest rated player was Malcolm Marx, a couple of 8s there, a couple of 7s. And 1-6 in the starting lineup for Chesnan. I think he was quiet. On the bench, good efforts from the 2 props. So that's kind of where I'm at. What do you guys think of the game? Let me know down in the comments below. Barry says, imagine if Ox was playing the Irish, would be finished. Yeah, listen, I mean, Bowen Fenter did a masterclass. If Ox was there, he would have retired for Tiger Furlong. Candy says, petition to make all the past birthdays public holidays. Johnny says they should stick to bringing Grant and Monty together. I think the biggest problem with Grant and Monty is that we never really had clean front foot ball. Even when we had the scrum ascendancy, we just didn't really get clean feed. We didn't really have an opportunity for them to come from running onto the ball. And then one time we tried a set move, Kubas Ranak bulleted behind Monty Bok, and he was coming around the corner and then had to grab from behind. He actually defended quite well of all the things, did Monty Bok. But a bit of a short show there, but I want to send you all off to Alistair, who's currently doing what looks like a very entertaining France and Australia game. So please do smash a like on the way out. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. Go and give Alistair your support, and we'll see you guys all tomorrow for a bit of a reaction of what's